Thank you for choosing TLTT Travel Agency to accommodate your trip to Austria.
Here at TLTT, we strive to transform lives through travel. Our knowledgeable travel agents will let you know all the information that you need before you leave for your trip.
We'll give you an inside look at Austrian culture and traditions, plus teach you proper greetings and dining etiquette so you won't be unprepared when you get there.
If the sound of music is all that comes to mind when you think about Austria, you've got some learning to do. Austria does have a beautiful landscape. It is home to the Alps, which makes up 62% of its landscape. But there's so much more to this complex culture.
I'm sure you're wondering where you'll be staying during your trip. We have some pretty amazing hotel options for your consideration.
Yeah, castles! Austria is known for its magnificent castles, many of which are now used as hotels. If you have a special occasion, you can even rent one out for an event.
And what girl wouldn't want to get married in a castle? Something else unique to Austria is their flag. It is said to be one of the oldest national banners in the world, consisting of two horizontal red stripes with a white stripe in the middle.
Tradition says an Austrian who fought in the Third Crusade got blood spattered all over his white tunic. When his belt was removed, they say a white band remained.
This red-white-red color combination was said to be adopted as Austria's banner after this incident.
Mahlzeit!
Mahlzeit!
If you're clueless as to what we just said, you might want to learn a little German before your trip, because 98% of Austrians speak German because it's the official language.
And by the way, Mahlzeit means mealtime, and it's a common greeting among Austrians around lunchtime when they know that most of them are on their way to lunch. Food is very important to the Austrians.
Maybe that explains why over half of Austrian men are overweight.
Absolutely. Many of our customers' biggest concern about traveling to a foreign country is what type of cuisine they'll be eating when they get there. I'm sure most Americans will be happy to know that a popular dish in Austria is Käsespätzle, which is their version of macaroni and cheese.
I hope you like onions because the traditional recipe, Käsespätzle, has a lot of them. Meals are celebrated and can be long-running affairs. Typical meals include 3 courses, and it is common to remain at the table and enjoy a drink after eating.
And if you like Starbucks, you will love this. Coffee houses are huge in Austria. Each has its own atmosphere and attracts a certain type of customer depending on academic, political, or social class.
Another thing that's huge in Austria is the Roman Catholic faith. 74% of the population belong to this religion, while 5% are Protestant and the rest belong to other various faiths.
I'm sure you're wondering how you'll get around during your stay in Austria. Trains and buses are the most common forms of transportation. But if you're going to partake in public transportation, we'll have to teach you proper Austrian greeting etiquette so you'll fit in on those bus rides. Since this is a formal culture, only use people's titles and surnames unless you're invited to use their first name. And when you enter a room, shake hands individually with each person there, including the children.
If you're a woman, don't be surprised if an older Austrian man kisses your hand. But men, if you're not from Austria, don't go around kissing other women's hands. When it comes to business interaction, the Austrian culture values formality even more so. The concept of cultural values can be applied here heavily.
Our intercultural textbook says that cultural values are shared ideas about what is important and what counts as ethical conduct. These cultural value patterns form the basic criteria through which we evaluate our behavior and the behavior of others.
The shared cultural value of formality rules the business atmosphere in Austria. There is hardly any joking or small talk in the office. They are very serious and follow strict schedules. Punctuality is extremely important to them. If you are even a few minutes late for a meeting, an immediate explanation is expected.
With such a formal culture, home is where Austrians relax. Only family and close friends are invited into each other's homes so that communication can be more informal.
If you happen to make a friend in Austria and they invite you to their home for dinner, make sure you arrive on time. This is a sign of respect. It is also polite to cut up the food as much as possible with your fork. This compliments the cook by saying the food is tender.
You are now prepared for your trip to Austria. We want to thank you again for choosing TLTT Travel Agency.
Transforming lives through travel.